And you get up there, and if you're dead set as a comedian on being like, I'm funny, everything I say is funny, if you don't laugh, it's your fault, then you're gonna have a rough time.
Yeah.
And you can think like that. Maybe you have enough money to think like that, but it does stunt your growth I think personally, it stunts your growth as a performer and as an artist.
Yeah.
To be like, whatever, to think you're infallible.
Yeah. I mean,
And I think growth is like growth and change and evolution is the key to longevity.
yeah.
And how's that guy been a stand-up comedian for 50 years? It's because he
Constantly is going
you know,
through it and changing and doing. You know, it's sometimes it's hard to like self-reflect, but without that, you're never growing, you're never changing, you're never evolving.
because you have to look at yourself and be like, maybe I'm not the best. And
Yeah.
then we live in a fucking city where everyone just thinks they're the best.
Yeah.
And to say maybe I'm not is like a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
In a lot of people, and that's not realistic.
Right.
That's not realistic.
No, I mean, I think that, you know, it's like people who have like commitment issues, you know.
Hey,
At what point is it not because of someone else?
right?
At what point do you stop pointing the finger?
But how much does it suck? And how hard is it to look at yourself?
It fucking sucks.
But guess what happens? Your
grow.
life gets a lot fucking better.
Yeah.
If you're sitting here thinking that you're the pinnacle, you know, why not me?
Yeah.
Type person, and you're stuck like that, and everything else is everybody else's fault at all times, you're just there forever. Because no one's ever going to be like, there's not going to be a day where the whole world grabs a Coke and turns around and says, we were all wrong about you.
Right.
Now all of us love you.
Right. It's crazy. I had this conversation with a client, and, you know, it was kind of like, you know, me. Finally, I was like, at what point is it not you? At what point is it that you are the issue?
Also, no one's going to like have your back if you're never like, what am I doing?
Right. Like, stop.
Even if it's not fully your fault, because, you know, a lot of things aren't all fully one person's fault or the other person's fault or people or whatever.
Right.
But you got to be willing to make concessions and being like, maybe this wasn't right on my part.
Right.
So what wasn't right on your part?
Right.
It's like, I'll always, God, I have so many thoughts, and I wish I was just smart enough to be like, here's the one sentence that includes all of these thoughts. But it's like, if somebody shows humility, and if somebody, I'm more willing to have that person's back, knowing that they know that they're not perfect. But if you come out and that's like what you're projecting is like, this is me all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm never wrong. Then I find it very hard to like have your back.
Yeah. It's like I've had a conversation with somebody, and they're like, you know, I just don't understand. Like, I don't have that many friends. I don't have this. I don't have that. And I'm like, when was the last time you asked your friend wholeheartedly how they are doing? When was the last time that you made a conversation about them and not always about yourself?
Dude, I have friends who will be like, man, you're such a good friend, and you've been such a good friend to me during this trying time. And I've had the same friends be like, you know, everyone around you says that you're a good friend. And a lot of those people have never done that
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
And that makes me think like, I know that you know what a good friend should do.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
And you have the energy.
Yeah.
And you choose not to do it.
Right.
Because it's not at the forefront of your mind. I'm sure there's not malicious intent. I'm sure you don't wake up and start your legs like the road runner and say, how am I going to be a piece of shit today? But it's like, and that's the other side of the coin, is that people, your energy goes 1,000 different places. And maybe at the end of the day, you're so messed up and your legs are running so hard that you don't have the energy to look across the table and be like, okay, forget about me for 5 minutes. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Not everybody has that.
Yeah.
But does that mean I'm going to have your back all the time, knowing that you don't even that doesn't even cross your path?
Yeah.
No. And
Yeah.
that's when people drift apart.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling that in your life, know that you're not a bad person for drifting apart in your life.
Yeah.
And I want to say this one thing. People in this town on the internet saying, we used to see you hang out with this and that person all the time. Know that that is a big part of the reason.
Yeah.
And if it's going on in your life, you got to do whatever you can to make yourself okay.
Yeah.
And if it's within your heart to look out for other people, be choosy with who you do that with.
Yeah. Be choosy with your time.
Yeah.
100%. It's your time.
And do it with people who reciprocate. And it's
Right.
also very good to do things and to not expect anything in return. But once in a while, take stock of is it still worth it? And
the friends that
Yeah.
I've had for so long, like my true friends, right? Like I've had them forever. And it doesn't matter how much time goes by.